Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So, it's October, the spookiest month of the year. It's also the 13th, the most unluckiest number, for whatever reason. And it's Friday the 13th in October! What does it mean? Nothing, but it's a good excuse for me to go ahead and review a good retro horror game, Friday the 13th, for the NES. Jason Voorhees is scary enough, but throw on that LJN Rainbow logo and you got yourself the perfect horror duo. So how horrifying is this game? Well, let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. This is Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th. You play as the Crystal Lake Camp Counselors, and your goal is to kill supernatural mass murderer Jason Voorhees before he kills you. You can go all around Camp Crystal Lake and collect weapons and upgrades to aid you in your quote-unquote adventure. Now that's a great concept for a game, kill the killer. However, this game isn't quite fun at all. Trust me. So, like I previously mentioned, you get to play as the Crystal Lake Camp Counselors. You get to pick any of the 6. George, Mark, Paul, Laura, Debbie, and Chrissy. They all have different stats too. Some are slow, some are fast, some can jump high, some not so much. But regardless of who you pick, you'll find yourself using them all. If you get pretty beat up, find a counselor in a different cabin and you can switch them out. You can even pass over weapons too. So, once you begin, you'll notice the counselor you picked has a handy weapon. A rock. Let me say, throwing rocks sucks in this game. First off, they don't do much damage. Second, when you throw them, it's thrown at an angle. It's great for fighting from long distance, but close encounters are a bitch. You might be better off ducking and throwing for improved accuracy. And what's up with these enemies too? I understand fighting off wolves and crows, but do zombies have to be in every game ever? Isn't Jason Voorhees enough? If you start jumping around and killing enemies, you'll start finding new items, like the knife. It's a bit stronger than the rock, and you can throw it without it being a pain in the ass. Yay! Eventually, by doing certain tasks like finding notes in cabins or lighting up fireplaces, you can find more items, like the axe, the torch, and even this groovy flashing sweater. So those are some of the things you can collect, but how do we play this game? So despite it looking like a traditional 2D platformer, it's very much not. So press pause to look at your map. Pretty freaking huge, right? Well, it's actually not that bad. You can get to different areas pretty quickly. It's a bit confusing though, because sometimes if you go left, you'll end up going right on the map. And sometimes if you move left, you end up going left. Just keep pausing the game to see where you're at. So see how there's lots of little cabins on the map? The big ones are where you can light up fireplaces. You want to light up all of the fireplaces so you can get the flashlight item, which lets you see inside the cave. But this is a real pain in the ass for 2 reasons. 1, because the game doesn't keep track of which cabins you've been at, so you gotta memorize all the places you've been to. And 2, Jason and other enemies will keep getting in your way. Respawning enemies will constantly be in your way. Zombies are everywhere, crows will lunge at you, and what makes it harder is that you can't jump and use a weapon at the same time. And when you're rowing your boat in the lake, you're almost totally defenseless. It's infuriating. But going back to the flashlight item, luckily, you don't even need it. Here's a tip. Notice how dark it is in the cave? Well, if you have the flashlight, you can see all the details in the back, like the hidden door. Without the flashlight though, you just look for a rock formation that's a bit different. You can enter this room if you picked up a random key and you'll be face to face with Jason's dead mom's decapitated head. Jesus Christ, she looks like friggin' Medusa from Castlevania. Throw your knives, rocks, axes, or whatever weapons you have at her. Hit her a bunch of times and she dies. Or re-dies, I don't know, but she'll drop an item for you afterwards. I've been going on and on about the things you can do and some of the enemies you can fight, but what about Jason Voorhees? You'd think he'd be the final boss of the game or something, but truth be told, you can fight him at almost any time. It's all based on randomness. And all that stuff I told you about Jason's mom and lighting fireplaces, technically you don't even have to do any of that to beat the game. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier to beat Jason. To find Jason, there's 2 ways. 1 will be completely random. Jason runs around the entire Crystal Lake. You won't see him coming until it's already too late though. If you're on a side-scrolling path, he will suddenly show up and start throwing his weapons at you. Hit him enough times though and you'll scare him off. Whew. However, if he's close by while you're rowing a boat, he speeds by like the Roadrunner, damaging you with an unavoidable hit. Now the second way you'll find him is when Jason is trying to kill the other counselors or kids. When playing, you'll hear a little Jason alarm go off. Pause the screen and you'll see a flashing cabin. Head to that cabin. You have exactly 1 minute to get over there. If you don't make it in time, Jason either kills one of these kids or one of the playable camp counselors. If you're quick enough though, you'll save your friends. They'll thank you, and good God, these counselors are just as creepy as Jason. Now Jason will be in the same cabin as that rescued counselor, you just have to find him on the right screen. I know I'm gonna sound like I'm nitpicking, but it is a bitch to search through these stupid cabins. What is this shit? What the hell am I even doing? Anyway, once you find Jason in the cabin, he'll attack you. For some reason, this fight turns into a game of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Jason lunges at you and you have to press diagonal on the D-pad to block. And as you may notice, there is no diagonal on the controller, which makes this fight stupid! So either press down or left, or down or right at the same time to dodge, which doesn't even guarantee Jason won't hit you anyway. Keep hitting the bastard with weapons till you win. The torch and pitchfork will do the most damage, but you know you gotta go through hell to get those items. Now here's another frustrating thing. Once you hit Jason a few times, he runs away. Now you gotta wait until your Jason alarm goes off again, hunt him down, and fight him once more. Hit him a few more times, and he runs away again. Jason wasn't this much of a pussy in the movies. What the hell is this? You'll have to fight him a bunch of times, slowly bringing down his health. The more you fight him though, he will get more damaging weapons, like the machete or the hairbrush. So be careful. Keep fighting the bastard. Look at this! I did it! I killed him! Fuck yeah! Take that, Jason! Ha ha ha! Watch out, Jason is still alive and stronger than before. What? What? So after all that, it turns out there's 3 in-game days where you have to kill him. I barely had the patience to go through 1. Fuck that shit. I don't want to go through all this stuff again, especially with the harder setting. It's already a pain in the ass to do anything. I'm not going to go through all that hell and beat the game just to see a picture of a dead Jason who doesn't even look dead. He looks more like he just finished Thanksgiving dinner. So is this game any good? No, not at all! Good God, is this game infuriating. There's so many cheap hits and ways to get damaged and killed, you'll have a hard time just getting the first kill on Jason. I'm not saying the game is impossible to beat, but oh man, you're gonna need a lot of patience to play this. It's all about being at the right place, at the right time, with the right weapons. Since a lot of the encounters are based on randomness, you have to be prepared at all times, so hopefully you stock up on those potion items you'll find in the wild. Also make sure you have a strong weapon, and goddamn make sure you don't accidentally grab a weak-ass knife when you have a good weapon, or else you'll lose it! It's hard enough doing the quest for these special weapons already, and to top it off, your Jason alarm will constantly go off. Do you continue trying to get your other tasks done, or do you stop what you're doing and go fight Jason right away? I don't know! Ah! And also, there's only like 2 music tracks in the game, so you better get used to that. So to be fair, I try to point out the positives as well as the negatives in a game. And as for the positives, well, actually, I do have to hand it to the developers. LGN published crappy games, but the developers had some great ideas. I just don't think it was executed properly. As the camp counselors protecting each other as well as hunting down Jason and finding the right tools to kill him, that's a great idea for a game. Hell, the Friday the 13th game released earlier this year is basically the NES version done better. And while playing the game, it feels like you can just never beat Jason. And to be fair, it's friggin' Jason Voorhees. He shouldn't be so easy to kill. And when he appears on screen, it is pretty damn scary. The game is hard as hell, but with some strategy and a buttload of patience, it can be done. But playing the game is more of a painful self-torture challenge rather than a fun gameplay experience. So play at your own risk. But these are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of Friday the 13th? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. I'd much appreciate that. And go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on future retro video game reviews, countdowns, and let's plays. Like always, I thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.